Hey team. All right, week number 6 in our Ironman distance training program. This is a big week, lots of volume. It's probably around the peak week for most of you, and you should be not ready to have it over with, but you should be pretty tired. Cumulative effect of all the training starting to add up. But again, this is where you really need to be focused on keeping yourself healthy, recovery, because you're putting in a lot of hours. So all those important things: eating well, hydrating well, getting enough sleep, stretching, massage, whatever it might be to aid your recovery, is just key and critical. I mean, anybody can put in high volume, but it's a smart athlete who takes really good care of themselves while they're putting in the high volume. And this week, especially your long ride and your long run, they're going to be really long. So, mentally prepare yourself for that. Again, let your family and your supporters know you're not going to be as available, because you have a couple weeks here where you really have to pound it out and break yourself down in order to reach that next level of fitness, and then you'll be starting your taper at some point. Today I want to talk about swim training. You've been swimming, building your volume, building your intensity all along. The swim leg of the triathlon, in particular the Ironman distance, it's relatively speaking short, but it's still important. And it's important for the competitive athlete who wants to get that cone slot or place in the age group, but it's also important for anyone who wants to be able to ride and run effectively. And what I mean by that is you need to manage your energy output even in the swim. And if you're not prepared to swim the distance, then you're going to expend too much energy on the swim, and it's going to have a negative impact on your bike and your run. So your training needs to be geared so that you can exit the water and feel good about things, and that's a really important piece to conserve your energy throughout the entire race, including the swim. So in your swim training, you want to incorporate a lot of steady state swims, a lot of longer straight swims, and then also your interval, in particular your tempo work. And very importantly is your technique work, because even when your conditioning volume increases and the amount of conditioning you do in your swim training, you still want to focus on your good technique, meaning you're working on your drills and your warm up and your cool down, and you're always thinking about swimming with efficient technique when you're doing your main conditioning sets. It's really important, because the more efficient you are in the water, the faster you're going to go at the lower metabolic cost. And that's the difference between the really good swimmers and the not so good swimmers, is their efficiency in the water. So I especially encourage you over the winter months and the off season is you find yourself a coach, really drill that technique, work on it, get feedback, get video analysis, and just really make yourself an efficient swimmer to the best of your abilities. The conditioning will come, it really will, even if you're just working on technique a lot, to make sure you do that. Swimming wise, I want you swimming 3 days a week. You've got to get in the water at least 3 days a week, maybe even 4. I think master's programs are fantastic. You should definitely get yourself hooked into one of those, but you need to be careful that you don't swim too hard every time you go swim. So if your master's program is a real competitive type program where everyone's really going hard, then be careful with that. Maybe you only go once or even twice a week, and then on the other days swim on your own, focus more on drills, focus more on technique, and slow it down a little bit, because recovery is an important issue even with the swim. But try to get those 3 or 4 days a week. One of those days should be a straight swim, where you have longer straight sets of maybe 3 by 1,000 with maybe a pull set in there. You're using hand paddles like I have right here every once in a while to build some strength. Just different tools that you can use in the water to help your swimming come along a little bit faster. But I really like the straight swims. They're key. And then of course incorporating the tempo interval work, where you're going hard, not all out, but you're working hard to maintain pace. Like a set of 10 by 100 where you're holding pace for each one, maybe within a second or 3 seconds, and you're leaving the wall on only 10 or 15 seconds rest. Those are really good benchmark sets too, to see how you're progressing. So straight swims and that steady tempo work, in addition to the drills, that consistent level of swimming. Putting in 4,000 to 5,000 yards, I think that's important, especially for building confidence. You need to put in that kind of volume so that you just have the confidence that you can cover that distance comfortably. So building up to that kind of volume, and again, it doesn't have to be all straight. You could break it up, 4 by 1,000 or even 2 by 2,000, however you want to do it. But those longer, steady swims where you just get in there, you focus on good form. You don't have to swim really hard, but just get the time in, get the yards in. That's important. So work on the swim as you are your other sports. Again, I just want to remind you, you need to watch out for the gauges, monitor your gauges, be self-aware. Your training volumes are picking up. You're up there in the upper stratosphere of what your body can handle as far as overall training volume goes, and you want to stay healthy, because that's the key. Staying healthy. Push your body towards its limits, but then bring it back just in time before you go over the edge. You want to stay healthy so you can toe that line on race day healthy and have a good performance. So that's all for this week. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going well for you. And again, you should be tired, so that's normal. So if you have any questions or anything, please contact me. Otherwise, keep training hard, keep training smart, and listen to your body. We'll see you next week.